Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Phenomenal Reviews. I am Nick Smith. Now earlier on today I made my review of Alien. You can go down to my YouTube channel, you can check out the review about the amazing Alien horror movie by Ridley Scott. But I am here to talk about the sequel, Aliens, which I thought was directed by Ridley Scott. However, I was wrong. Instead, Aliens was directed by James Cameron, director of such great films like Titanic, Terminator 1, Terminator 3, Terminator Salvation, Rambo First Blood, and Titanic. So, what James Cameron decided to do with Aliens, it ends up being with Sigourney Weaver returning with her role as Ripley. It has been 57 years since the first movie, so she has been floating in space. You know, she's floating in space for 57 years, and she gets picked up by the company. But she has recurring dreams of the alien popping out of her chest. And so, we find out that Ripley had a daughter, but she died years ago because she's been floating in space for so long. So they have to go to court because of the things Ripley did to destroy the alien. Blowing up the ship, initiating the self-destruct, and they don't believe her. They don't believe that the fact that she's been floating around for 57 years and the fact that she ran into an alien which wiped out her entire crew in 24 hours. Why don't you believe that? And what was it that Charlie Sheen said from 2.5 Men? Oh yeah, who's a moron? You're a good moron. But yeah, basically they're like, we have no record of any of the things that you've said. Like, we have no proof it exists. We searched the whole entire thing, nothing there. And she's like, good. That's because I freaking got it I freaking fried it in the freaking exhaust or the thrusters or whatever. I freaking destroyed that thing. So they're like, alright, you are suspended for what she did, and she can never be a flight officer. And so she gets a job, but she has to have psych evaluations because, you know, they think she's cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. Of course, though, if you ran into a meeting with someone and they said that they seen an alien, yeah, you might want to commit them to an asylum. Good chance you might want to do that. But I digress. So, then we get to the guy who saved her. The guy who found her in the company, Burke, is responsible for saving her and for finding, actually, no, he's not responsible for it. He is the one who basically says, look, what would I tell you if I could get you back as a flight promoting officer? If you go back to the planet known as LV-426. And apparently they said that ever since this happened with Ripley, the planet has now been occupied by families. Basically, transmitter people, or people who basically make homes on other planets. And you know, when I was watching this, I was like, okay, so how are they alive? Because when I first watched it, I didn't remember them showing the families and the people who were on this planet. But they do. And what they do is, the part of the planet they were on, they didn't find the ship yet. They didn't find it till years later. And only reason they found it, I'm actually not going to tell you. You're going to have to actually watch the movie for yourself. But basically, they find the ship, and then all of a sudden, all heck breaks loose. The spider jumps on this little girl's face, and we see this family that are investigating it. And then all of a sudden, they go up to Ripley, and they're like, okay, look. We haven't got contact from them in a while, so we're going to send Colonial Marines down there, which Ripley will not be in any harm, but we want you there so you can tell us if this thing is real. If it's real, we will know what to expect. So Ripley decides to say no at first, but then she keeps having nightmares, and she's like, okay, you know, maybe Burke's right. Maybe I should face this after all. So before she goes, she makes sure that they're going there to destroy it, not to study it. So they get to the planet, and we meet all the Marines. We meet Hicks. We meet Hudson. We meet a Mexican chick whose last name I can't pronounce. We get all these Marines, and they're great characters. They really are. We get the commanding officer. We get the one who is in head of the commanding officer. We get Hicks. And we get Hudson, who, if you remember, his lines are, game over, man! Game over! Game over! This has not happened! This just ain't freaking happening! Game over, man! He is such a good actor. And this role really made him famous. check out Bill Paxton, any of his movies. But Aliens is where he got started, or as far as I know. This movie made him famous, along with Sigourney Weaver. Of course, so Alien made her famous, but I digress. So basically, we get of how they start going on the planet, and they're looking around, and all of a sudden they're like, okay, nothing bad is happening here. What's going on? And so as they're moving around the planet, they have scanners on their machine guns, or on their guns, that, you know, like if there's anyone in near view of them, they can find them. And then when they go into this one room where they start searching everywhere, they find the room with the eggs and with the aliens. And the thing is, though, the aliens apparently were sleeping or something, and the Marines happened to set them off. These aliens are just as bad as the one in the first movie. Except one took out a whole entire crew, except Ripley, in 24 hours. A whole horde of these things took out a buttload of Colonial Marines. A buttload. Like all the characters that we don't get to know, yeah, they die. But the characters that we get to know, when they die, it's sad. It's freaking sad, man. And like, it's just this is a really good sequel. I've heard Alien 3 sucked, and Alien Resurrection I know sucks. But so I basically, you know, it's like one of those horror movies, you know, like you're surrounded by all these creatures, and when you're surrounded by them, you know, you're doing everything you can to put them down. And sometimes it doesn't even show us how the people die. You just know they die, like in Friday the 13th, or in Alien, when you see the alien take up the guy, and you don't know what happens. You don't know what happens to them. You just know that they die. And here's something also we found out. They had one survivor before they got attacked by the aliens. The aliens are kidnapping the people to put the parasites on their faces to give birth to more aliens. This place is basically like a hive. And they basically find, okay, there's got to be a queen who is doing this, like with bees. You know, the queen is big, she's mean, and so, you know, they basically find, all right, you know, we got to find the queen, but we got to get out of here. Because something went wrong when they landed, and the engine is basically going to explode in like 4 hours. So they got to get a rescue ship to come down and take them off the planet before it, you know, before it goes haywire. And we find out that the reason these people, all the colonists, are dead, and why Burke wanted to go down here in the first place. And Burke is just like Ash in the first movie, trying to, well, you know, let's not do anything hasty here, you know, we got to see what would be best for us to do. He is just like Ash. And we do get another robot in this movie. We get Bishop, who is a new model and they can't hurt people, or they can't even make themselves hurt people. And he is a really awesome character. He is really good. And something that I've noticed through all the Alien movies, all the robots are in alphabetical order. Ash, Bishop, Cole from Alien Resurrection, and David from Prometheus. And so, you know, instead of him being like, you know, we do find out that he's like, Burke gave me special instructions to take everything back. He was very specific. And then we find out that the reason why all the colonists are dead and why they hadn't found the ship yet is because when Burke found out about it, he sent people to go look for that ship. He knew that the aliens were real, or he didn't know. He knew what really Ripley was talking about, but he didn't tell them. There's possible aliens that could possibly kill you. You know, it's like in Spawn when after Al Simmons does that mission and he accidentally kills innocents, you know, his boss is like, hey, I need you to go on another mission. And you think someone smart like Al Simmons would do that, but nope, he goes anyway. Hey, could you possibly go check out the spaceship? We have no idea what's there. Oh, and by the way, there is nothing dangerous there. You know, it's like what Filmmaster Adam said in Texas Chainsaw 3D. Oh, by the way, your satanic cannibalistic cousin is living in the basement and he has chainsaws. You know? Mention these things. It might help people die less. But I digress. So basically we find out Burke is the major villain. And, you know, alright, you know what? You try to get us killed, you're going down, man. You're gonna die. And we find out his plan is to basically, he wants to get people impregnated. You know, but he wants to freeze them so that way by the time they get back to Earth, he can unfreeze them, take the alien out, and make buttloads of money, and of course the same reason with what they told Ash, bring it for the defense weapons mechanism, or the defense recon, or the defense division, the weapons division. They want the alien for the weapons division. And, you know, same thing with what Mother told, what Mother told Ash to make sure what happens. Bring the alien back to use it in the weapons production. So basically, he tries to impregnate Ripley and this little girl. This little girl is the survivor out of all of these aliens. Except she's been on there like for months, weeks, maybe even a year. They don't actually say how long. Could have been a couple weeks. But her mom and dad are the ones that called in. Her dad is the one who died. And we find out that her brother might have died. They do show a little kid when they're looking through the caves. They do show that a little kid's chest has been popped out, but they don't say who it is. But I think they might be basically saying, this is Newt's little brother. He's dead. Her name is Rebecca, but she goes by Newt. And the thing is, with Sigourney Weaver, her character Ripley was a mother, and her daughter died at an old age. So we see this relationship build between Ripley and Newt. It is a mother-daughter relationship, and at the end of the movie, Newt ends up calling Ripley Mommy after Ripley frickin' kills the alien queen! Like a bad, eh? But I digress. But this is definitely a very good sequel. It's got good strategies. It's got good tension. This is a sci-fi film. This isn't a horror film. Although it could be classified as both. Because, you know, you feel sorry for the characters that are getting taken out by the aliens, the one that you get to know, with all the cool weapons, the machine guns, the flamethrowers. And with Ripley, her character grows greatly. She goes from being scared to going to the planet and being scared to going all the way to freaking the protective mother over a girl she doesn't even know. But, basically a lot of the same things that happened in the first movie. Acid falls on people, the aliens end up colliding on people and ripping them apart. Burke gets what he deserves, because when the aliens all come in, and this was something good, they take the machine guns from, they take basically these machine guns that rotate, and if you get in front of them, they will go off, and they will fire. So, basically, this I thought was very good, and like I said before, I don't remember, but the locator basically says they're coming in hot. Okay, they should be in the room with us. Why aren't they in the room with us? They padlock themselves in the room, and they're like, Ripley's like, and then Hicks is like, give me the light. And basically that was a moment where if I was him, I would have said, oh gosh, or I would have said something else, but I'm not gonna say because I am a Christian. But he basically had that, oh shoot. And so basically they have to fight to survive, and they use Newt's, how Newt used what did to survive, going through the vents. Unfortunately, we do lose the Colonel, and we do lose Venskaz, or whatever her name is, I can't remember. But they basically blow up the aliens to save Hicks, Ripley, and Hudson. And Hudson, man, I thought Hudson was going to survive, but unfortunately, he gets taken out by the aliens, so now it's just Hicks, Hicks, Ripley, Newt, and Bishop. And as Bishop is trying to get the ship to come down, they're still struggling with the aliens. Newt gets lost and gets kidnapped. And this is all of a sudden, Newt learned from Hicks how to shoot a gun and how to use a grenade launcher. She freaking ties a machine gun and the flamethrower together. And like using whatever she can to basically get her daughter back. Newt becomes her daughter. And she's like, basically like any other mother, okay, I've got to go get my daughter back. I will not stop until I have my daughter back. And no matter if it means freaking killing the alien queen. And we see the alien queen, and she is a big mother. I mean, of course she's the queen, but she is a big mother. So, and we get this fight between Ripley and the queen as she burns the eggs, and they get off on the spaceship. And then when everything seems fine, just like in the first one, the queen sneaks on the ship. These aliens are smart. Stabs him, rips him apart, and then all of a sudden we get the fight between Ripley and the queen, where Ripley says, the family's like, get away from her, you witch! Yeah, I'm not going to say the line. I'm a Christian, remember? So basically we get this awesome fight with her in like this big robotic suit thing, grabbing its neck, and how she takes the queen out is so awesome. I'm not going to... Oh, screw it. You know what I'm going to say. This has spoilers, by the way, if you've never seen this, of course. Duh. But she basically gets tossed into the air launch before it's open. She escapes and grabs onto the ladder, freaking opens the hatch, and it, and her and Ripley are reunited, and as they fly back to Earth, Ripley and Newt fly off back home into space. They fly back to Earth. Now, I have not seen Alien 3. I have not watched Alien Resurrection. Of course, though, I have watched reviews from Nostalgia Critic and Film Master Reviews. If you want to go to their pages, you know, watch what they think on the movies. I've heard that it personally sucks. I haven't watched it. But also, before I go, I want to talk to you. I want to tell you things to look forward to in the description box. First of all, comment below. Tell me, what did you think of Alien or Aliens? Did you like Alien and Aliens? Did you like Alien 3? Did you like Alien Resurrection? Did you like Prometheus? Comment and subscribe. Tell me what you thought about this movie. Tell me what you thought about the Alien Colonial Marines game, which I have heard sucks, but I still would like to try it. And I'll be putting previews of the new game, Alien Isolation, in the description box and in the comments below. So comment, subscribe, check out my Facebook page, check out my YouTube page on One Full Sniper Legend, and it's all one word, one F-U-L, Sniper Legend. But guys, hope you have a good night, and look forward to my review on Prometheus, either tomorrow or sometime when I figure out when to do it, because I'm lazy. Have a good night.